Right now, somewhere on Earth, a forest is being cut down. A river is being dammed. A species is going extinct, quietly, without a headline. It's easy to imagine the planet would be better off without us. But what would actually happen if humans had never existed? Not gone. Never here at all. The answer is stranger, and far less flattering to nature, than you'd think. Start 7 million years ago. A population of ape-like primates in Africa faces a choice it doesn't know it's making. Climate shifts. Forests thin out. Grasslands spread. Some primates stay in the trees. Others begin walking upright across the open ground. In our timeline, that second group becomes us. Remove them, and evolution doesn't stop. It just goes somewhere else. Because here's the thing people get wrong about evolution: it isn't a ladder with humans waiting at the top. It's a maze with no exit sign. Something was always going to fill the niche we left behind. The question is what? Paleontologist Dougal Dixon spent years exploring exactly this idea in speculative biology, imagining alternate evolutionary paths. His work wasn't science fiction for its own sake. It was a serious thought experiment. Intelligence isn't a human invention. It's a solution that nature stumbles onto again and again, whenever the pressure is right. So who else might have found it? Crows and ravens solve multi-step puzzles that would stump a human toddler. Researcher Nicola Clayton at Cambridge has spent decades studying how corvids plan for the future, remember specific past events, and even seem to understand what other birds are thinking. Octopuses use tools, escape sealed enclosures, and recognize individual human faces, despite having a nervous system that evolved on a completely separate branch from ours, more than 500 million years ago. Intelligence, it turns out, doesn't need a primate brain. It doesn't even need a spine. Without humans, the fossil record suggests one strong candidate for dominance: other primates. Chimpanzees already use tools. They strip leaves off branches to fish termites from mounds. They crack nuts with stone hammers, a behavior passed down culturally, from one generation to the next. Give that trajectory another few million years of selection pressure, a shifting climate, a reason to cooperate in larger groups, and you have the raw material for something unsettlingly familiar. But maybe primates don't win at all. Maybe the crown goes somewhere colder. Elephants mourn their dead. They return to the bones of relatives years later and touch them gently with their trunks. Dolphins have signature whistles, essentially names, that they use to call specific individuals. If intelligence is a door nature keeps knocking on, it's knocking from a dozen directions at once. Here's the part that stings a little. Without humans, the planet doesn't necessarily heal. For millions of years before we showed up, Earth had already lived through 5 mass extinctions. Not one caused by a human hand. An asteroid ended the dinosaurs. Volcanic eruptions in Siberia wiped out 90% of marine life at the end of the Permian period, in an event so severe scientists call it the Great Dying. Extinction isn't something we invented. We just got remarkably efficient at it. Without us, the woolly mammoth might have still vanished. Climate change at the end of the last ice age was already shrinking its habitat before human hunters arrived to finish the job, and researchers led by scientists like Esk Willerslev have found genetic evidence that mammoth populations were already collapsing from environmental stress alone. Nature doesn't run on balance. It runs on pressure, chance, and collapse, the same as it always has. So picture the Earth, 40,000 years from now, in a timeline with no humans in it at all. Forests reclaim what would have been cities that never existed. There are no cities to reclaim. No roads cut through continents. No satellites orbiting overhead. But there's also no medicine curing disease before it spreads. No conservation effort protecting a shrinking species. No one to notice, or care, when a volcano buries an ecosystem, or a comet grazes past a little too close. Because that's the twist nobody wants to hear. Humans are not simply a wound on the planet. We are also the only known species that has ever tried, on purpose, to stop an extinction. To track an asteroid's path years in advance. To vaccinate against a disease before it kills millions. Nature never asked for a caretaker. But it got one anyway, flawed, destructive, and self-aware all at once. Astrophysicist Carl Sagan used to point out something quietly devastating. For 4.5 billion years, Earth had a magnificent capacity to think, but nothing here to use it. Every sunset went unnoticed. Every constellation, unnamed. The universe existed in total silence, cause and effect, with no one home to ask why. Without us, that silence might have simply continued. Or another species, a smarter raven, a more social octopus, a primate cousin who took a different evolutionary turn, might have eventually opened its eyes, looked up, and asked the same question you're asking right now. Because that's the real reframe here. The question was never really about a world without humans. It's about what humans actually are. Not the destination of evolution. Not the reason the universe exists. Just one branch, on one tree, that happened to grow a mind capable of wondering about the branches that didn't. Right now, somewhere on Earth, a forest is being cut down. But somewhere else, a scientist is mapping a coral reef to save it. A telescope is scanning the sky for the next asteroid with our name on it. A species on the edge of extinction is being caught, just in time, by hands that evolved for exactly this. You are not the planet's disease. You're its only known accident of awareness. And whether that turns out to be Earth's greatest catastrophe or its narrowest escape, is still, entirely, being written.